system, as I have already told you just now, that constitutes certain attributes, features, okay, subcomponent. So there are numerous nomenclatures. Okay, so we'll fix okay certain terms which we are going to use. Now, when we make any purchasing decision, whenever we make any purchasing decision, or we try to decide on okay whether a certain system is to be built or not, okay, is based on certain benefits we try to get out of it. So this is termed as utility. Okay, I hope the term utility is known to all of us. Basic, simple English literature. Now, so what do we need to perform this conjoint analysis? Right, so far so many research techniques, research design, research methodology, okay, we have gone through, and we see that okay there are certain things like okay survey. We prefer to conduct some survey to get preferences of consumers or respondents, okay, using certain scale, certain measures. So we'll be using some of those concepts, okay, to develop this conjoint analysis technique, see that how it really helps. And before I start, let me tell you, if you find okay any difficulty, any query, you can ask me during the lecture itself, during the session itself. You don't need to wait for the last 10 minutes for Q&A. Okay. Now, why should we learn?
But my sincere request to all of you that, that until and unless it is required, please don't unmute yourself because a lot of background noise might be coming. So if you want to ask any question, then only please unmute yourself. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So now let's have a quick look. Okay, why to learn conjoint analysis? So far it has been considered as one of the market research tool for developing some of effective product design. Okay, once I say design of product, or it could be services as well nowadays, or any system of running organization, or any plant modeling. So there also it can be used. So it's not just a marketing research tool, but it could be used for some other purposes also. What kind of questions we generally ask being a researcher? So we ask that okay, what product attributes, features, okay, components are really important or unimportant to consumer or our client, or maybe our internal client within organization. Okay, let's have a broader view that somebody thinks that okay, one is pursuing okay a course in HROV, he or she cannot use conjoint analysis. So that is a wrong perception. Anybody can use it. Okay. Now, what levels of product attributes are most or least desirable in consumers' mind? Okay, this is another question. Kind of market share or preference for leading competitors. Okay, you do certain some sort of competitors product analysis versus your own. So you can compare your own brand. Okay, with respect to your competitors. Now what you need to do is that you need to break down okay those product or services or any system into different components which are of some use, and get the certain preference data from the respondents or clients or consumers, okay, as the nomenclature suggests. Now this is also useful in any scientific or business field for measuring people's perception or judgment. Okay, that is really important. Now there are certain important terms. I have already told you about this utility, this very subjective judgment. Okay, we may think that okay, certain creativity we have implemented, we have patented certain invention, and whatever product or service we are going to launch is going to be maybe the innovation of the decade or maybe century. We feel that kind of high when we do that. But we really need to understand that okay, who is going to be the end user of that particular product or services. So that is actually judged by okay our consumers, and that is calculated using the utility method. So utility is the final value okay in the consumer's perception or in his mind, okay, that we need to measure. So this has to be a measurable component. Now factor. So factor is a very common term. Since we have already gone through 3 days of this FDP, this factor would have come many times. So this is actually a specific attribute or set of attributes of any product or services. Then levels, possible values of a factor. I'll show one example using which all this different terminology will be clear. Okay, so just have a record these different terms in your mind, and once we discuss the example, all of this would be clear. If you have any doubt, then you please let me know. The next term is treatment or stimulus. Okay, so what do we do? That we select certain factors and labels to describe any object or product, okay, according to certain plan. And then this stimulus is actually presented to customers or consumers or respondents, and they are asked to rate them. Okay, they are asked to give their preference over others. So this is treatment. This is treatment and stimulus because it stimulates a consumer's mind and requires certain preference order. Then design. So it could be maybe a set of real or hypothetical object, product or service before it is actually made or manufactured in reality, by combining certain selected levels of each attribute of any product or service. And finally, conjoint task. This is basically the process of this conjoint analysis technique of presenting stimuli to respondents for their overall evaluation. Now, let's have a look at this example. Okay, so what is happening here? That let's say that I want to manufacture something called industrial cleanser. Okay, industrial cleanser. This is just like any cleaning item. So any cleaning item that we want to understand that what could be the ingredients of this one, whether it has to be phosphate free or not, whether it has to be phosphate based or not, or such things. So ingredient, form, whether it has to be liquid or powder, whether it has to be given our own brand name, maybe HBAT, or some other generic name or our competitor's name. So for simplicity, I have considered just 3 different factors and 2 levels under each factor. Likewise, you can think of maybe like at petrol pump. Just open up your mind and just roam around and think of any product or services around us which we purchase on any other day, and try to think that what are the key factors you look for that, and what could be the certain alternative, certain values under that particular factor. So if I talk about petrol, that is firing, its prices are firing like anything. Now if you go to petrol pump, there also 3-4 variety of petrols are available. 3-4 varieties of petrol are available. It could be lead free, it could be including lead. Now possibly that lead free petrol is a must by government regulation, but otherwise it was not necessary some time ago, few years ago. And form, whether form will be always liquid, so we can think of, instead of form, we can think of some other thing. Then brand name, whether it will be from HP, it will be from Reliance, it will be from Indian Oil. Likewise, we can keep on increasing the levels here. For simplicity, I have shown just 2, but you can keep on increasing levels. Now, likewise, you think of other factors, whether that petrol pump service is at hotspot location, in the city, at rural area, on highways. So likewise, you can keep on increasing these factors, and you can have all different options listed here. But for simplicity, I have considered very less number of factors and levels. And now try to understand. If I ask anybody to have a look at it and say that, what kind of product or service you want, which will have one of these ingredients, one of these forms, one of these brand names. So how many if you try to create combination of all these possibilities, how many possibilities are possible? How many products can be made? So this is very simple. You are supposed to multiply, okay, the different levels of these attributes. So this is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. That means 8 combinations are possible, okay, with the 3 factors and 2 levels under each. Now just think of that, okay. Instead of this example, if I consider mobile phone example or maybe laptop example, okay. Now how many okay feature we look for any mobile phone or smartphone? It could be operating system, it could be battery life, it could be brand, it could be price, it could be maybe mobile technology, 3G, 4G, 5G, maybe VoIP, okay, voice over IP. Likewise, if you list these factors, maybe you will end up with at least, okay, 15 to 20 factors. And then levels, okay, certain will be maybe 2, 3 levels, or for certain, maybe if you compare the brand, if there are so many number of brands nowadays, it could be n number of levels here. And if you multiply all of this, you'll find that number of combination is very difficult to manage. Okay, can you visualize this example of smartphone? Anyone?
No, sir, we can only see that phosphate one. Phosphate in.
No, I'm saying, can you visualize, open up your mind and think of those things, okay? I'm not saying
Thank
it
you.
on the screen, but try to open up your mind and think of, okay, some new product, other product, and how many factors are possible, how many levels are possible. And if you multiply all those, okay, levels under each factor, you see this number of combination, which is for this simple example 8. It could be maybe 100, okay, couple of hundreds, multiple of 100 combinations, right?
Yes.
So this is the problem. So it is very difficult now. Now you know that, okay, being academician, all of you know that, okay, it is very, very difficult to, okay, give long questionnaire to any respondent, right? If the questionnaire is simple and short, you will get quick reply and correct reply. But if the questionnaire is very, very long, it is very difficult to manage, as well as it is very difficult to get the correct preference order, right? Now each combination has to be rated by our respondents, so that will be difficult. So there are certain approach we use for this, okay, something called full profile approach, okay. So in which usually we are supposed to, okay, ask our respondents to rank, order, or score for a set of profiles cards according to their preference. So in this example, since this is very simple example, I'll ask, there are 8 different combination. Can you rank this? Can you rate this? Can you give certain score? Right? So if I ask, okay, the product with phosphate most, okay, appealing to you, whether you will be preferring to buy this one, or whether you'll be looking to buy some other combination out of this 8, right? So you know that how do we rank, how do we order, okay, certain possibilities or choices, or we can also give certain score 1 to 100, right, to all this different combination of profiles, right? Now what if, like, there are n number of, okay, some hundreds of such profiles? Do we need to ask? Let's say I take example of mobile phone. Many of the market research companies are actually conducting so much of market research, asking, okay, respondents to rank. But what if they go with maybe like 200-300 set of combinations? It will be very, very difficult, right, for even respondents to rank, because he might forget that, okay, he has already ranked maybe 15 to some other profile, and down below again he might be ranking the same thing. It is very, very difficult to give the correct order of preference. So in SPSS, there is an approach called orthogonal array. So what it does that, an orthogonal array, please mute yourself. You are not going to speak. Somebody is actually, all right. So in orthogonal array approach, what happens that whatever number of combinations you have, that is actually reduced, okay, reduced to fixed number of combinations. How is it done? I'll show you using SPSS, right? and whatever is the resulting set, let's say that there are 250 combinations, but using this approach we can limit to maybe 30 or 40 combinations only, and that would be sufficient to perform conjoint analysis, and you will not also lose much of the information. Okay, that is the promise with this particular technique. How is it done? That will be discussed now. Okay.
So I just can't suffer more and more than just academic.
Yes, any question? The voice is not clear.
In India, it is happening that teachers are sitting in front of your system. They're not getting to see the students. And throughout the front of the system going on teaching, it's a suffering. It has become more or less.
Is it a question? All right. So it's not a question. So this orthogonal design approach. So this orthogonal design approach is important. Let me see if I can mute somebody who is speaking. All right. So this is important before we actually conduct, because this actually helps you. This is something similar to your factor analysis, where when you have lot many variables and you end up reducing number of variables using factor analysis, right? This is parallel to that used before actual conjoint analysis to reduce the number of combination that is to be presented to respondents. All right. Now you are supposed to collect and analyze data. So for conjoint procedure, okay, there are three methods that how do you get it ranked. So as I have told you, you can ask somebody to rank by giving score from maybe 1 to 100 to indicate their preference. Okay, or you can also use Likert scale. Okay, you can also use Likert scale that each combination of features will be ranked maybe 1 to 7, 1 to 5, something like that. Okay, the data I have given you is having a Likert scale consumer preference values. So this is what we are going to use. There are other method also in which you can ask that let's say there are 50 such combinations. You will ask can you give rank to all these combinations start with 1 to 50. This becomes little problematic. What if somebody commits certain mistake while ranking. Now the third one is that we can also ask to sort the profile. So just think of the situation that we give 50 combination and ask to change and sort as per his or her preference order. So this is also a very lengthy task. So the best one is that either you ask to put remark on Likert scale for each combination from 1 to 7, 1 to 5, 1 to 9, whichever you like. So you can ask to use Likert scale. Even this 1 to 100 is little problematic. This is the simplest. This is what I believe, and most of the research paper are using. So you can use this concept to collect and analyze the data. So this how about the collecting the data. Now how do we analyze? So we can analyze using this conjoint procedure, which is available with SPSS. So in SPSS, so far you might have been using the click and play model. The moment I say click and play model is that on SPSS on top of SPSS software, there will be certain features, right? When you click and select, let's say that we need to analyze, let's say we need to import data, their files, their plots, their help file, lot many tabs are there. But if you look for this conjoint analysis, you will not find any tab, any tab or any option to use this one in SPSS. But there are certain other options that how do you use conjoint analysis using SPSS. So there is something called command syntax. I'll tell you that there are 3-4 lines of the code. There are 3-4 lines of the code using which you will run this complete conjoint analysis, and you will have your output file just like that click and play model. So this is about this command syntax, and you will have this results as utility score. So this is what we are interested in, right? If we have, let's say, 50 combination, what is the utility score so that we can rank, okay, different combination. So this is the final score, okay, objective score, which we are interested in. This is also known as part worth, very, very important. Whenever this concept of conjoint analysis is discussed, okay, every time this part worth concept will be appear. So part worth is nothing but, just think of that, okay, example that so one of the component of, okay, all this example is the brand, okay. If the brand is more popular, probably it will have, this is the expected, right, that it will have more worth, more value, okay, in consumer's mind. So that is known as part worth, and this will be for each feature, each attribute. Now, using this utility score, we can do many other things, okay. We can do many other things, and all this part worth, okay, explained for each component will put together, it will be added together, and it gives total utility of that particular combination. So that is actually helpful in accepting or deciding which particular combination we should manufacture or produce more, right? Or whether we want to have that particular combination only and just forget about rest of the combination based on this utility value, utility score. Now, what is required to perform conjoint analysis? So I have given this HBAT, okay, a data file, certain things. Now, this example, I've already told you that, okay, 2 into 2 into 2 wala combination. So just forget about this I have explained. There are certain assumptions, okay. One I have just told you is that total utility of any product or system is equal to sum of our partial utilities or part worth, okay. This is the concept we are going to use, and this is assumed also, okay. Somebody may argue that no, a brand itself is more than, okay, the product utility, but this is assumed one of the assumptions of this conjoint analysis, that total utility of product or system will consider as sum of all partial utilities, okay. Then factor and their values are defined by researching in advance. How is it done? One simple example I have told you, and then we'll discuss our data set, so you'll understand this more, okay. Then there are various combination of factor values that yield certain products that are being ranked by interviewed person or respondents. Independent variables are our object or system of product attributes. Dependent variable is preferences of interviewed person, okay. Now, what is required? The data set. So if you see that Excel file, okay, there are two sheets. One is HBAT C plan, another is HBAT conjoint. So HBAT C plan actually has certain details of stimulus profile description that I'll explain now. And then there is another sheet called conjoint, HBAT underscore conjoint. It contains actual responses to profiles or combination of, okay, those attributes. Now, how it will be run using this SPSS syntax, we need to see. Now, in HBAT C plan, there are certain headers, right? Certain headers. One is mixture, numapp, germ-free, bioprot, price. These two are extra, which we are not going to use. So we are interested in how many factors here? Mixture 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you see from that simple example of, okay, 2 by 2 by 2, we are increasing here. Number of factors are 5. Now under each factor, there are certain levels. So if you see this mixture, what are the different values available under this mixture? Can somebody confirm? How many values are there under mixture? Otherwise, I'll show you my Excel file and describe this. You see, this is the data, right? Is it visible, or I'll zoom it a little bit? This is the data file I have shared. Okay. So one is having all this, okay, different headers called mixture, numapp, okay, germ-free and all this. Now just look at this. These are, okay, certain factors, and there are certain levels. So how many levels for mixture? There are 3 levels, and values are 1, 2, 3. How do you see that? So in Excel itself, we can see, okay, there are 1, 2, 3. You just put a filter on top of this Excel table, and you'll be able to see what are different possible values under this. So these are called levels. Okay, these are levels. What is the meaning of these levels? I'll tell you. First, let's understand how many levels are there. Then second factor is num app. Again, there are 3 levels. You see 1, 2, and 3. Likewise, you look for another one. Here only 1 and 2. Next is bioprotection 2, right? Then there is a price 1, 2, and 3. So now we need to understand for any product or service, okay, there could be certain ingredients, okay, certain features, whether it's bioprotection, germ-free, okay, these yes, no type of answer. So whenever you see this 1 or 2, you'll find that this could be possibly yes or no. So when you collect the data, when you prepare the questionnaire for conjoint analysis, okay, you will not write these numbers, but instead you'll be writing the question, okay. So what if this particular combination of product is giving you this bio protection when you throw it out, okay, as a waste, whether it is actually having this, okay, quality of making germ-free floors, okay, when you're using this cleansing agent. So yes or no. So you will be asking questions in yes or no, okay, and then you will be converting this to this 1 and 2. How it is done in this SPSS, that I'll tell you. So let's have a look at it. But when you use this in Excel, you'll be writing this number. Yes or no will be converted into 1 or 2. Price is one thing that could be having different number of levels. If it is a scale type, okay, the measured value, it can be absolute number, but it's a best that we are also interested in reducing this number of combination, right? So what we can do for the price, we can have limited number of levels, whether it could be low, moderate, okay, or high, or we can also set, okay, certain numbers, certain values to it, okay. So maybe that cleansing agent, okay, if I talk about normal, okay, the surf, okay, normal detergent. So we can think of, okay, something which is less than 60 rupees kilo. Okay, that could be number 1, less than 60. There could be another type of detergent which could be maybe 60 to 100 rupees per kg. That could be numbered as 2. Okay, and it will have that level, moderate value. And maybe there will be third type of combination which will be priced, okay, as a premium more than 100 per kg. So that's how we limit, even if they are, okay, any number, we can convert that data here, that for which price range this kind of combinations are expected, okay, for any consumer, or whether they'll prefer it or not. So we are interested in reducing this number of levels, so we can have like this, okay, mixture, num app, so there could be certain values, and then germ protection, yes, no, bioprotection, yes, no, price, low, medium, high. Likewise, we can think of certain levels of this thing. Now, if you see this, okay, all these different combination, if you multiply this, so from that 2 by 2 by 2 is now becoming how many combination? You multiply all these levels, 3 into 3, 2 and 3. If you multiply all this, we are going to get 108 combination, right? With just 5 factors and this 2 to 3 levels under each. Now, do we really need to make a questionnaire for all these 108 combination and ask our customer to rank them? No. If you are going to use this orthogonal approach, we can reduce this. Okay, we can reduce to maybe only 30 questions, 30 combination. That would be sufficient for conjoint analysis. And then we'll give that, okay, all these different type of combination to our respondents. So here you see only 25 combinations are selected. Okay, and how is it reduced from this 108 to 25? is by using orthogonal approach. All right. And once you have this, okay, all this the different 25 different combination, then we can ask, okay, different respondents. Okay, these are number respondents 107. This can be maybe starting from 1 to, okay, all these respondents. So here some random numbers are given in this file. So that is okay. So this respondent number 1 for our use, and he has ranked a first combination. Okay, he has given 6 rank, Likert scale 1 to 7. You see 1 to 7 he has ranked. For second combination 3, 5, and likewise, right? He has ranked for all different combinations. So if we are going to give, let's say 25 combination, we will rank all 25, and we need to get certain number of, okay, responses from different respondents. This is it. So these kind of, 2 different Excel files we'll be using. So what we need to be careful is that whenever we think of any new research for any product or service or any other system, we need to understand what features are going to be the key component. For this, we also require certain domain knowledge. Okay, so if I talk about this cleansing agent, it becomes a little difficult to understand now. But if I take an example of maybe smartphone, it's very easy. Okay, it's very easy to understand because we all know that, okay, what are the key components a smartphone will have, maybe the OS, the brand, technology, maybe the touch screen or not, maybe the price. Okay, 4 or 5 features we'll consider, and what are the different levels. So maybe for OS, we'll have operating system will have only 3 levels, maybe Android, number 1. Another could be Windows. The third could be iOS by iPhone. Okay, maybe battery life. There could be price index. There could be technology, whether it's going to have 5G technology, yes or no. Okay, 5G technology, yes or no. So we are thinking of some product that is to be launched afterwards in the future, right? So let's talk about 5G technology smartphone. Then what could be price range? It will be less than, maybe if we can define low, medium, high, right? Maybe less than 20,000, maybe 20 to 40,000 medium range, or more than 50,000 is high price smartphones, right? So we can think of that kind of design also here. And if you multiply all these levels, you will get, okay, these number of, okay, let's say 108 combination, right? Even more, if you have more levels and more factors, then using our orthogonal approach, we can reduce this to very less number of combination. And then we ask, these are the combination of smartphone, which smartphone would you like to buy in future, near future? All right. Now, using these 2 data file, we are going to, okay, have our conjoint analysis performed. Okay, so 2 things, orthogonal design, how is it done using SPSS? So what you need to do is that this is click and play. The first part is click and play. We need to go to data. Then there is an option of orthogonal design, and there is a generate button. Okay, generate feature. And then same on below generate, there is a display. So I'll demonstrate this part first, and then I'll go into this kind of command. So you see how many, just 1 line of code is there, but it has got certain components that we need to just load the first file, response file, okay, the first file about that factor and levels. Second file, the consumer or respondent responses, 2 files, and we need to give, okay, certain more attributes to this, sub command to this, which is known as score. That means we are actually scoring, giving, okay, ranks or score to a different combination, whether it is 25, it is 30, 25, whatever number of those combination. Okay. And then subject means respondent. Okay. So in SPSS conjoint analysis syntax, it is called subject. That means the respondents, the respondent number 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I have denoted using that header QN. So I have written this QN. And then factors. So factors. So if I talk about, okay, mobile phone or smartphone example, So there could be a factor like operating system, fifth generation technology, yes or no, price, and then camera. So in camera, there could be maybe a pixel. Okay, it is less than 2 megapixel, it is 2 to 8 megapixel, or maybe more than 8 megapixel. Nowadays, 64 megapixel or 128 megapixel, camera in a smartphone are being talked about. So likewise, we can have certain levels. So that factor means we need to name. So in our current example of HBAT, cleansing product example, we can have those, okay? Maybe num app, bioprotection, germ free, price, okay? And along with these factors, we also need to understand what is the meaning of this discrete. What is the meaning of this, okay? Linear more, linear less, camera, linear more, okay? So this also we need to understand. So the operating system in a smartphone, okay, can we compare them? Can we compare Android to iOS or maybe Windows? Very difficult, right? So just think of, okay, those nominal kind of, okay, data which cannot be compared. Okay, so maybe you cannot be compared to your friend. So different names cannot be compared, right? What can be compared? Maybe the associated brand value, associated market share, that can be compared, but not the name. Then fifth generation technology. So yes or no, if I have only two levels. So here, why are we writing linear more? Because we are trying to understand the expected preference order should be if there is a fifth generation technology involved in a particular smartphone, then it is going to be more preferred, because we have seen, okay, historically, whenever there is a new technology, people try to prefer that more. So we give this instruction, okay, linear more means this is preferred more if this technology is from no to yes. Then price, the expectation is always that we get, okay, maximum number of features, okay, better product at low cost, low price, right? So whenever we rank, okay, this price into maybe low, medium, high, so we inherently consider that expected is that whenever price is less, it will be more preferred. Okay, so that's why we are writing here linear less. And the third one, linear more, that means more number of megapixel, more higher is the preference by consumers or respondents, right? Likewise, there is a display technology. So maybe touch screen, yes or no. So linear more, if there is a touch screen, we all know that consumer will prefer more. This is the trend nowadays, right? So this how we define our factors, okay, for conjoint analysis. And once we, okay, write these things and run this file, okay, this very small file, then it will automatically give you all those results. And the last three is a result. You see, there is a print. So we want to summary only, or we want, okay, the subject wise details. So that will be instructed here. We want to print summary only for our interpretation. And then if you also want to see the utility, okay, to be saved, you can, okay, give the name of a particular file, and it will be saving all those utility value, utility score, okay, relative importance, and many other things in this particular SPSS file. And finally, there is a plot option. If you also want to plot, okay, those and have some beautiful visuals and graphics for your manuscript or your research article, okay, or maybe any report, executive report. So you can use these, okay, tabular data into plots also. This is also possible. So this is all about, okay, the commands and how do we do it. Now I'll demonstrate. And okay, there are certain repetitive steps. So now what are we going to do is, please open your SPSS file, SPSS software. Can you all please open your SPSS software? We are going to have some hands-on experience. I'll demonstrate and you'll follow. If you find any difficulty, any problem, you will tell me immediately. And quickly, please tell me which particular SPSS version are you using? I'm having SPSS 20. Let's have some quick interaction. You can also send in the chat box if you don't want to unmute yourself and say something. Which SPSS version are you using? 16. Okay. So please open this SPSS software and that Excel files. Be ready with this, and I will tell you what to do. So if you have opened your SPSS file, what will you do is, let's say that I want to have, okay, it will be blank since this is filled. I'll tell you how to create a new. So click here on data. Click here on data and just explore, okay, these options. You will find something called orthogonal design here. Right, now there are two options. First is generate, second is display. So click here on generate. Now a pop-up, a dialog box will open. Okay. So now what are going to use is that we'll see, okay, some of the values in this particular Excel file. The second one, sheet 2, and these are the name of factors. Okay, so we need to use this name of the factors, these 5 factors, and their levels, individual levels. Okay, and we are supposed to enter this one by one. So what we'll do, sorry. So what are we going to do is, under this factor name, you just copy paste the first one. Let's say this is mixture. Okay, you type this factor name mixture. You can also give its meaning. Let's say I'm going to give this hbat underscore mixture. That means more information about this factor name. That's it. And then click add. So when you click add, there will be a question mark right here. So what you need to do is you just need to select this, okay, and click on define values. So here we need to give the different levels. Okay, so there were 3 levels. So either you, okay, type 1, 2, 3, or instead of doing this, you can also do that. How many levels are there starting from 1? So in Excel file, we see there are 3 levels for mixture, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what we'll do is we can type 3 here and click fill. So all these 3 values will be automatically filled. Okay. Now there is a limitation that, okay, up to 9 only you can enter, 9 levels for any other thing. Now let's say that first factor are going to have 3 levels, but these we don't understand what is the meaning of this 1, 2, 3, whether there is any comparison or not. Okay, so let's consider this is nominal values, nominal numbers, or nominal data. Let's say mixture 1, 2, 3, which cannot be probably compared. So there is no ordinal direction. There is no scale direction. Okay, 1 cannot be said that 2 is greater than 1 or not, or 3 is greater than 1 or 2. So in that particular case, you write maybe, okay, something from your mind, maybe mix 1, mix 2, mix 3. Now if you click continue, all these 3 different values will be stored here. Likewise, you need to enter the factor name and factor level and the values for each of these different factors and their levels. Now let me put price first. Price 3 levels, low, medium, high. So if I write here, let's say price, and I give more information, maybe price hbat, add, and then define values. How many values are there? There are 3 values. So low, medium, and high. Okay, I continue. So this low, medium, high has come. So you need to add all 5 variables here, and their different values. Once you do this, then you need to give a dataset name here that will be saved in a particular folder. All 5 different variables. This is needed. It's not like that, okay? For any other technique, we simply copy paste from Excel, or we import, right, from the Excel file. If you do that, this orthogonal design will not be created. For getting this orthogonal design, okay, for the application of conjoint analysis, we need to perform this activity manually. We have to enter this factor name, okay, and their corresponding values of levels, and give some name, maybe HBAT, FBP, dataset name, and then there are certain options. This is what very important. Reset random number seed to. So we are supposed to give some random number. Let's say I think of maybe 20,000. Okay, some random number. This needed for the machine. Okay, this is a programming concept. Some random number we are supposed to give here. Okay, and there is an option button here. If you click on option, and here we decide how many cases we need to generate. So I told you in that example that 108 combinations are reduced to maybe 25. So if I give 25 combination will be created. Okay, if you want more, you can give 30. If you want less, you can give maybe 22, some number. Okay, that number of questions you want to, or number of product design you want to give to your respondents. So that will be decided here. Okay, so please type some number, maybe 20, 30, 50, whichever you want, maybe 1/3 of total number of combination. If the number of combination is moderate, not a big number. And then there is a option of holdout cases. So this also will click. Then this will be enabled. Now holdout cases is another key concept you need to understand. Okay, so what happens that whenever we design certain combination, so we'll have this combination, and there will be some, okay, maybe like 10% or 5% or 20% of the cases which will be holdout. It will not be used for experiment. It will not be used for, okay, those things. Okay, it will not be supplied to our customers, respondents. So this is actually used to calculate or recalculate internally that, okay, whether all these combinations are valid or not, whether this conjoint analysis which you are creating, whether it is going to give the correct result or not. Certain things. It's something like, okay, in machine learning thing, we have some, okay, we have these two things, right? Training set and verification data set, test data set. So this is considered as testing cases. This is our training cases. This is our testing cases. So here also you give some number and click this also randomly mix with other cases. So these two will be mixed randomly so that nobody will know that this is randomized, which is the actual case generated and which is the holdout case. And then you click continue and click OK. So I hope that you have entered all 5 different factors with the values and you are clicking OK. Please confirm if it is done, or you want me to wait at this point. Anybody has got any issue, any query, any problem, you can ask me by unmuting yourself. Anyone? Can you please confirm whether you have created this orthogonal dataset this way? I already created and kept, okay, one file for your for our reference. So maybe I can open this and tell you how does it look like. So once you click this OK, Once you click this OK with all these 5 factors and different values of levels and all these options, okay, in this particular way, at least note down these things and do it. And once you click OK, it will generate a file. Okay, it will generate a file, and how it will look like, I'll just show. Okay, so if you create, then it will show you both of this. Okay, the variable view, see all these 5 plus these 2 extra, status and card. These 2 we have not entered, but system has generated last 2 variables. Just forget about this. Let's focus on this 5. So here on this 5, and we also have this, okay, different values, their levels, everything filled. Okay, most of these are nominal measure, so this is not a matter of concern. Whatever measure is there, it will do its work. Now let's have a view at, okay, data view. So here you will see, okay, mixture all these 5 plus these 2 extra redundant things. Okay, and how many combinations are there? So we selected fixed number of combination, right? So in my case, when I did it, okay, before this session, just to create a test for you to demonstrate, I created only this 22 combinations I want. Okay, now this 22 combination means I have to, okay, create a questionnaire and ask respondent to rate, okay, these 22 different combinations only on Likert scale. Okay, now what will happen? Let's have a look at sheet 1. You see here, this product 1 is first case, first combination, second combination, and likewise how many combinations are there? So there are 22 combinations only. Okay, so these 22 combinations are ranked by different individuals with different respondents using a Likert scale. You see, you click on any of this, you will find it is ranked between 1 and 7. Okay, using 7-point Likert scale. And how many such responses are there? So there are 86 responses. That means 86 respondents have filled our questionnaire, and we have got this data set. Okay, now this data set we are also again we are going to import in this thing. Okay, our SPSS. So that is easy, right? We simply click open data. Okay, open data, Excel file, and import that data set. Okay, wherever it is. We import this data set using first sheet. If I click here, open sheet 1, right, which is having our consumer preferences. You click OK, then this view will be opening. You see the variable view. Okay, so combination number 1, 2, this number, and one is this QN, that is the ID of each respondents. Okay, let's say that I have sent, okay, to maybe how many, around 492 respondents, but received only 86 responses. So around 20% of 17-18% of responses. So that is okay, good number of turnout. We know that, okay, everyone we send a survey response to be filled. Most of these 80% of these responses are denied, right? They don't fill up whenever we request. So this kind of issue we have all okay faced. So this is the number of the respondent to whom I have sent. Now this is important, this numbering, because we also, you know, cater, we also aggregate, we also, okay, capture certain demographic details, that, okay, which consumer profile somebody is in, somebody has got, okay, higher income, lower income, those things. So later on it will be used for, okay, individual group or, okay, more group analysis. So that could be, okay, that is actually subject to further research. Now using these two, what we'll do now, so we have already have our combination using orthogonal design. We already have our consumer preference list. Then what we'll do is we are supposed to use SPSS for conjoint analysis. So for conjoint analysis, what we are going to do is we'll go to file. So now if you see all these options, okay, transform, analyze, you will not find conjoint anywhere. You will not find conjoint anywhere, okay. So this is not click and play. Instead, what we need to do, we need to go here, new, and click on this syntax. The second option, go to the file, okay, click on new, and the second option, that is syntax, not data, not output, not script, but the second one, syntax. If you click here, so a syntax file will be opening. The syntax file looks like this. Okay. Syntax file look like this, where you have a place, an editor, where you can paste your commands. Please confirm you have reached this point.
Yes, sir.
So did you complete that, okay, data set thing? Orthogonal design and consumer preference both. If both of them are ready, then only we can use this command. So here, please have a look. I think this is in different colors, so little bit hard to, okay, look at it. Is it visible, or I need to zoom this?
Please zoom this.
Okay, so what?
Zoom will be better.
All right. So what will I do is I'll open maybe. Is it better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So to write this command, okay, we need to understand the first, okay, the term is conjoint. So we need to write conjoint first here. You see, this is in red color. And what happens here, that you also get some suggestion box. So the moment you write, okay, start writing something for conjoint, it gives you that suggestion. Conjoint you need, yes, conjoint, and automatically it will appear in red. That means it is correctly written. This keyword is correctly written, conjoint. And after that, put space and then plan. The moment we write this plan, it will give you this option. It's better to use this suggestion box so that there is no spelling mistake. If there is a spelling mistake, or even that, you know, then there will be a problem. And after plan, you put end equal to, and then we need to give the file name, that first orthogonal design data file name and the location. So where is it kept? So for me, I have kept it, let's say somewhere here, this test SPSS. So what will I do? I'll take this path, copy this path name, okay, and I'll put it here, and then the file name is maybe this smart C plan, or whatever name we have given, maybe HBAT. Okay, whatever name you have given for this orthogonal design, this data set, this thing, this name we are supposed to give, maybe HBAT underscore CG underscore plan dot SAV. You need to give this, and this has to be put under this single quote. Okay, now we have given the address of the first data file. Okay, that is output of our orthogonal design of data set. Now what we'll do, either you keep on writing here, or you can go to the next line. and then you give this forward slash, and then you select data, and then data is equal to. Now here we are supposed to give the path and the name of consumer response file. So consumer response file I have kept here as, let's say this one, HBAT consumer response or smartphone responses. So I've been using the smartphone responses file here. Okay, so again same thing, address and the name of this file. So we can simply give this path and name, and then single quote, single inverted quote, sorry, single quote on both sides. So the color of this particular thing will change again. Now if you run this, only these two data file will be loaded. Okay, will not see any action so far. This is just to load our plan and data. Plan means that orthogonal data file, and this consumer preferences data file. These two will be loading to our conjoint analysis function. Now what we need to see, we also need to give certain things, that score. Why are we using this score? Because in consumer preferences we have the 7-point Likert scale. So here we need to define, we need to give the information to this conjoint function that which all headers are keeping this information. So you see product prod 1 to product prod 22. Okay, whatever be the number of this are actually going to give me the information that these are the rank data, not this first one, first header. Okay, so if you don't give anything, there will be a problem. It will not run properly. So here I have given this prod 1 to 37, or we can reduce this to whatever be the number. Let's say 22 to 22. Okay, and then next one, I have said about the factors. Go to the factors, and this is very easy. It's not like very complicated programming. Everything you are going to get using suggestion box, so you don't need to worry. Okay, and then it will be the name of these factors, all this mixture, numApp, all this, right? And I have told you this has got different values, but you know that okay, certain things we need to keep as discrete, certain things linear high, linear less, linear more, linear less. So those information we are supposed to put here. Okay, something like this. So if this is the smartphone data, I'm going to use this. Okay, all different factor name, and if these levels are not comparable, discrete. If they are comparable, linear, and linear more or less dependent on whether the increasing value is more preferable or increasing value is less preferable, like price. So likewise you type this, and once this is done, again forward slash, and now print. Even if you don't use this print onwards, you will get the result. Okay, since we have given enough information to the conjoint function. Now print we are actually using to get these things, whether you want just analysis, you want some simulation result only, or you want the complete summary only, or you want everything, analysis, simulation, summary. Certain options are there. So for now we'll look at the summary only. Okay, and then utility file. If you also want to create this utility file, please use this option utility and give again a path name, which folder you want to create this file, and some name. Okay, so let's say that I want to create this particular thing, and you can have your customized name, something like I have put this as util. You can put maybe your own name or utility file .sav, and again single quote, start and close. right? So this will give you a file which is actually, I'll tell you how it looks like and how is it understood. And finally, if you also want to have some nice plots, you need to use this plot, and you can select maybe all. Okay, only subject, only summary, whichever. So let's click maybe summary. Now it's good to go. So how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only these 7 lines. That means conjoint. And this 7, okay, this 7 keyword you are supposed to remember. And how is it entered? And then if you click, it will run. Okay, something like this. So I'm giving you this example. Please customize this as per your data file, as per your path name. Okay, you don't need to blindly copy paste. I'm sharing this in the chat box so that somebody who doesn't have can get this. Okay, command. Okay, please use this command. And where will you use this? You go to SPSS, okay, click on File, New, and the second option, that is syntax. Okay, you click this, then this new window will open up, which is syntax editor. So in this editor, what are you going to do is use this 7 line of commands that is given to you, customize this using your local path, and ensure that this number of, okay, this number score is equal to. So if you run this, there could be certain problems because based on our, okay, understanding, we have increased or decreased this. So this is for 22. So if there are 22, okay, different combination, we have to ensure that consumer preference file will also have this 22 headers only. If there is a difference, there will be problem. This we need to, okay, here see, there are 37 different responses, combination, which are ranked, okay, by consumers. Then there will be problem. So what we need to do, we need to match this. That means these two data files are different. Of course, this is different. This is for smartphone and that was for cleansing agent, right? So what will I do? I'll open this different file that is about the smartphone plan, Smart C plan. Okay, so I have created another example for smartphone. So here if you see operating system 5th generation, the one for which I have given the command, okay, 5 different variables, and using orthogonal design I have created 37 different combination. For this 37 different combination, I am going to use this file of consumer preferences for 37 combination, okay, and all these numbers 86 only. So after writing all this, I want to run. So for running this, you just need to click this green button, that is run selection, click run, and look at this output file. If you go to this output file, the listed one, conjoint analysis. So if it is a success, it will give you all these different results. Okay, all these different results. If it is not a success, you know that there is a warning given here, certain warning. So please confirm you have got any warning, any error, or you have successfully got these results. Then we'll look at this individual tables, individual information of the output. Can somebody please confirm if it is complete or if you are facing any issue?
No, it has gone.
Did you get the result perfectly?
But it is not shown.
Not shown on output file.
Yes, your output file that was there, but now it has gone.
No, it will not go anywhere.
It is here. It is here, sir.
It will be there. You see this. You know how to see this output file of SPSS. It will be there, conjoint analysis. So please confirm if anybody has got any issue with getting this output file. If there is a problem, that means we need to do some customization, some changes in these commands only. If commands are okay, you will not face any issue. And mostly I see that there will be a problem with this thing only. So in your consumer preference thing, they are only 22. Okay. So when you are creating this orthogonal design, you'll have to ensure that we are going to create only 22 combination. Otherwise, I'll tell you a shortcut. What will you do is, let's say that this is more than 22. So what will you do? You delete, okay, more than 22 के बाद जितने भी है, you just delete those extra rows for now. Okay, however, it is not desired when you are doing actual research. Since we are doing this dummy demonstration presentation, that is okay. But in actual research, you will not lose any data. Otherwise, there will be problem with the design of conjoint analysis. For the time being, to make sure that it runs perfectly, you can delete these rows. No harm. But in actual research, you are not supposed to do. Whatever number of combination you are getting here, same thing you will report. And for same, you will create the questionnaire and you will get the results. Now, once we get this output file, now look at it.
Yes, sir.
Look at it, model description. So we gave that, okay, all different factors. So I'm doing this for this smartphone example. So operating system is there, 5th generation, yes, no, and all this information, okay, relation ranks or scores. So I've given first one as discrete, okay, Symbian, it is Android, whether it is iOS, whether it is Windows Phone. Okay, discrete information, linear mode, linear race, so price is linear less, camera, different 3 types of megapixel, okay, display, touch screen, yes, no, this kind of information. And it's also saying all factors are orthogonal. That means we are able to reduce the number of combination, okay, maybe for more than 100 to just 22. So this is the information, this is the understanding of this particular table. So this is about the model of conjoint analysis technique. Now look at this overall statistics. What does it say here? So all different factors and their levels. Then there are certain utility estimate. That means that if I want to see a particular combination, that I want to have a mobile phone, a smartphone, which is, let's say, Android, okay, and 5th generation phone. Let's say tomorrow, after 1 or 2 years, I want to have a phone for which I have given certain preferences. Okay, so what we are going to get the utility value for ranking all different combinations. So each has got some decimal value, positive or negative. So individually we need to see if the combination is, let's say, Android OS, 5th generation, yes, price range may be moderate, 10 to 20,000 rupees wala price range, and megapixel more than 8 megapixel, and touchscreen, yes. So what we need to do, we need to add this different combination of this selection and see what is the total result. So this is simple addition and subtraction, okay, of all these individual component. That is called the part worth. Okay, if you add all this, we'll get one number, final number, that will be the utility value of this combination. Likewise, we can have for any different combination. So you see that only with the combination of 22, now we can get this for how many total combination? We calculated 108 or even more. Okay. So using this just 22 combination ranked, okay, using consumer preference, we are able to calculate the total utility value of all these 108 combination. Now, which particular smartphone or product we are going to manufacture, which is more preferred by consumer, right? So that is the kind of decision we can take. Now there are certain other information also, like information importance value. So all out of these 5 different factors, which is the most important. So you see here, operating system is the most important, okay, factor, followed by camera, followed by this technology, mobile technology of 5th generation, and then price, and lastly display. Okay, so this is averaged out based on some inside calculation and techniques. Now there is some coefficient, though this conjoint analysis output can further be used for some regression, and prediction also. For those things this is used, so we can skip this for now. Now this correlation chart. In correlation table, what do we see? That Pearson correlation is some value which is not very great. Usually we expect maybe 0.7, 0.8 correlation should be there, but this is very low. Even this Kendall's tau value is less, and for holdout also this negative and less value only. Usually we expect that correlation should be close to 0.7, 0.8 range, right? That means there is a high correlation between observed and estimated preferences. So this means low means, so anyway, this is not the actual data. So for me it is okay. I know that this is some dummy data I have taken from some books and simply change the name of this factors just to make it more appealing to everyone. So this is okay. But in actual research, if you see that these values are not so great, we'll have to really understand what went wrong, whether the respondents have not filled it properly, the responses, or what has happened, or somebody has simply created some problem, because this observed and
1 minute, sir.
Yes,
what is the comment on the significance value?
A significance value also we need to see. Significance value should be less than this 0.05, right? So first two are accepted. The last one there is a problem for holdout. Yes. So what we need to do is, this is one conjoint analysis model. So for holdout we give some a random number like 5. So we can increase, we can decrease. So what we'll have conjoint analysis for different models, different number of combinations, right? And then we'll see whether this is increasing or decreasing. So that kind of analysis we can do, right? We can have multiple model of conjoint analysis and compare by increasing holdout whether it is increasing or decreasing.
Thank you.
Okay. And then number of reversal. So this is another important concept, please understand. So reversal means that we expect that if there is a higher price, it will be less light. Please understand with respect to price. This is easy to understand, so I'm explaining this first. But what we have seen out of this 86 respondents, 30 have said that even if price is higher, they prefer higher priced mobile phones. So this is kind of reversal of our expectations. Okay, so likewise you try to understand that we expect that 5th generation technology, if is there with the smartphone, it will be more preferred, but 78 out of them have said no, it's not like that. So this is different from our expectation. So in our expectation we have said this linear more or linear less. So this is just a reversal of that. And if you want to see the subject or respondent wise breakup, that's first respondent have reversed, have given reverse preference in one case. Second respondents have given reversed expectation in 3 cases. Likewise, right? Out of those 22 combinations. So likewise, there is a breakup. So this list is about those reversal of expectations, and finally reversal summary. And then comes the plots. Whatever information we have just discussed can also be shown using plots. So operating system versus utility. So more utility for which particular operating system is there, what is its range and its standard deviation, and everything can be understood visually here. Whereas there is a more variance. And then generation of mobile technology versus utility. So likewise you will get so many different graphs here. Utility versus operating system. So this is not that useful. This looks little useful. Some of the reports and research papers I have seen, these kind of comparisons are shown using these kind of graphs. So you see that for Android overall there is a higher utility. It is totally averaged out. But for Windows it is little lesser. For iOS it is showing negative utility. Now there is a problem with my data. Since it's dummy, it's showing it may be positive or negative based on actual response. Okay, this is how we understand. And generation of mobile technology. Okay, both are showing negative, so there is a problem with the data. Otherwise, it will be possibly on the positive side because everybody loves new technology, given that it is under our budget. So likewise, all different combinations, and finally, all different factors. What is their average importance? So already there was a table, but if you want to use this graph, so this also available. But given that you are going to use the last this plot all option as a sub command of syntax, you will get everything. So this is the end of this complete session. And if you have any further question, you can ask me now. We have a couple of minutes left. I just hope that the session is recorded and you will have this session recording so that whenever you practice, if there is any issue, you can revisit it.
See how the companies they use this because the information are so many variables which we have considered for the analysis. They are quite good in number, but they have been jumbled and they have been clubbed together. But many
Yes, because SPSS output gives all different information. So what you need to do, see now, if I look at it and let's say that I am a manager of any mobile company. So what will I see? What will I tell that? The most important factor. See, most important factor, given this utility score, most important factor is operating system. So if I want to launch a new product, maybe after a year or 2 years, I will focus more towards operating system. Now, out of these operating systems, what is the highest utility score? So this Android. So I will select this Android phone will be sold highly because customers are preferring Android phone, in the market because this is coming as highest utility. Now for 5th generation technology, yes or no? So you see this which is higher, 0.7 is higher than minus 0.14, sorry, 1.4. So mobile technology 5th generation, yes. Price. So now you see which is the highest value. So 0.3 is the highest value. So this is a range I'll select. And camera megapixel, I will select this more than 8 megapixel. Display.
Just 1 minute, sir.
Yes.
But when we check with the help of a standard error, in case of megapixel also it is very high. In case of
yes. No, so that is what I'm telling for standard error. So this is I'm telling you, this is the dummy data. What I'm saying that using this utility estimate, but given that this standard error within acceptable limit, if it is not acceptable limit, we'll discard it. That means we need to get more data, more actual data. That means surveys are not filled properly. That's why you are getting this standard error which is beyond limit. If these are under limits, then I'll select different factors and their levels based on this utility estimate score. And those combination will try to manufacture or produce for which I am getting highest utility score.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Very nice presentation, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for the compliment. Any other question? Any other question? As it's time to close the session. If you don't have any question, maybe I'll close the session and maybe if somebody would like to have my contact number. So these are the references I have used, the SPSS version 20 reference manual and Hare et al. 7th edition book. If you want to have my contact number, you may note it down for any further queries. I'll put it in the chat box also. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for being such a wonderful and humble audience. Time to say bye-bye. So wish you all the best for rest of your FDP sessions. All right. Can we close it now? Dr. Amir, are you there? or Netravati ma'am?
Sir, good
Yes.
afternoon.
Okay, can we close the
Sir,
session?
you are ending the session, sir.
Yes.
I'm watching it.
All right. So the session is complete. I have answered the questions.
Yes,
And
sir.
if there is no any more
I saw
questions.
the contact details also.
All right. All right.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. And we are the participants are very enlightened. Hope they'll use it for the research. Thank you so
Yes.
much for having you today, sir.
Thank you very much for being, such a nice organizer. I am really humbled.
What time should we meet for the next session?
Sir, there are some more questions to be answered.
Yeah, if questions are there, please let me know. I am
Participants,
here.
if you have any questions, you can ask. And if there are no questions, you can say no also.
So I have already
I have already asked.
Yeah, already some questions are answered.
I have already
I
asked.
was in the session.
All right, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Participants, we are resuming at 2:30 exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
okay.
all.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
Madam. Thank you.
You can have your lunch and come back.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.